know I said no more surprises, but I was really hoping to pull off one last one.
It's no secret that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has welcomed a bunch of Hollywood heavyweights over the years, but there are still a few big names fans are hoping will finally join the superhero party. One actor who's constantly brought up in fan discussions is Glenn Powell. The Top Gun Maverick and Anyone But You star has been on the rise lately, and now even a Marvel insider has voiced that he'd be a perfect fit for the MCU. In a recent chat with The Playlist, Michael Waldron, best known for writing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and creating Loki, was asked which MCU role he could see Powell taking on. Waldron, who also co-created Chad Powers with Powell, didn't hesitate and said he'd be a pretty good Nova. It's not hard to imagine why he'd say that, since Powell has that classic heroic charm and intensity that fits perfectly with the cosmic Marvel scene. Even though Waldron helped write Avengers Doomsday, which originally started out as Avengers the Kang Dynasty before being reworked, he's clearly keeping an eye on future casting possibilities. And with his track record of shaping major MCU storylines, his endorsement definitely carries some weight. Powell himself has been honest about his superhero status, or lack thereof. Back in August 2024, he told The Playlist that no one from Marvel or DC has actually reached out to him yet. He said, "I've never gotten a call from DC or Marvel, but I'm a fan of everything they do." So while he's not officially wearing spandex yet, it's clear he's open to it. If there's one role that keeps getting mentioned for Powell, it's Nova. The Nova Corps already exists in the MCU thanks to Guardians of the Galaxy, which means the door for Richard Rider's debut has been open for a while. Fans have been waiting years for Marvel Studios to finally introduce the human Rocket Man of the cosmos, and apparently the studio's been planning it behind the scenes for quite some time. A Nova project was officially confirmed to be in development back in March 2022, with Moon Knight writer Sabir Pirzada attached. Then in December 2024, reports came out that Criminal Minds alum Ed Bernero had taken over as showrunner, confirming the plan was for a TV series. But in early 2025, the project hit pause, alongside Strange Academy and Terror Inc., when Deadline reported Marvel was shifting its priorities. It wasn't cancelled, just shelved temporarily while the studio reorganized how it approaches its television division. That restructuring has been a big deal, because Marvel's new strategy is to make its shows feel more like traditional TV, with multiple seasons and longer-term storytelling. So when Nova does return to development, it's unclear whether it'll stay a series, become a movie, or even be reimagined as one of Marvel's special presentations on Disney+. Either way, the fan interest hasn't faded, and someone like Glenn Powell stepping into the role could easily reignite that excitement. Meanwhile, the MCU's attention is locked on Avengers Doomsday, which is shaping up to be a massive crossover event. This 2026 film is bringing together a bunch of returning heroes, including several actors from the classic X-Men movies. After years of rumors and hints, Marvel is finally merging the Fox Marvel universe with its own in what promises to be one of the biggest crossovers yet. Filming for Doomsday wrapped on September 19, 2025, with Joe and Anthony Russo directing once again. They're also set to direct the follow-up Avengers Secret Wars, which will close out the multiverse saga. This two-part finale is expected to feature the largest lineup of Marvel heroes ever assembled on screen. Among the returning faces are some true legends from the X-Men era. In a recent interview with Screen Rant, Famke Janssen, who famously played Jean Grey, was asked how she feels about her co-stars returning for Avengers Doomsday. She admitted she doesn't know much about the storyline, saying, "It's not my world, it's never been my world really, that whole comic book world, but I'm really excited to see when it comes out." Even though she doesn't follow the comic side too closely, Janssen acknowledged how big of an impact those movies had on her career. She said, "Those were great films to be part of, and they've done so many good things for my career." She also mentioned how grateful she is to have had long-running roles in franchises like X-Men, Taken, and even the Bond series. For her, variety keeps things fresh. "I'm really not good at repeating anything," she joked. So far, Janssen hasn't been confirmed for Avengers Doomsday, and the last time she appeared as Jean Grey was in X-Men Days of Future Past back in 2014. That film reset the timeline and reversed her death from The Last Stand. Her younger version was later played by Sophie Turner in X-Men Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. On March 26, 2025, fans got a massive surprise when a live stream officially revealed that Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, James Marsden, Rebecca Romijn, and Alan Cumming would all be returning as Professor X, Magneto, Cyclops, Mystique, and Nightcrawler. Even Channing Tatum, whose Gambit movie never happened, will finally get to play the Cajun mutant in Avengers Doomsday. It's a nostalgic reunion that's going to pull heavily on fans' heartstrings. And while the X-Men are making a comeback, there's also talk about the return of other longtime Avengers, including Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye. It's been almost 4 years since Renner appeared as Clint Barton in the Hawkeye series with Haley Steinfeld. With the multiverse saga nearing its end, many fans have been wondering if he'll pick up the bow again. In an interview with Screen Rant ahead of Mayor of Kingstown Season 4, Renner gave an update about the possibility of Hawkeye Season 2. He explained, "It's really not my decision to make," but hinted that continuing the story has always been part of the plan. He added, "They love that world in New York. There's really no more beautiful place than New York until Christmas. After Christmas, it's kind of bleak." While Renner hasn't suited up in live action since December 2021, an undead version of Hawkeye recently appeared in the animated Marvel Zombie series, which premiered in September 2025. So at least fans are still getting some form of the sharpshooter. In a separate interview with Comic Book, Renner was asked if Clint has officially retired again or if he'd be pulled back in for Avengers Doomsday. His response was classic Hawkeye. "I think he started retired, but he's always pulled out of retirement, you know." He went on to say that Clint will never truly hang up his bow, since, as long as he's alive, he's always going to be working. Even though Renner wasn't part of the main cast reveal for Avengers Doomsday back in March 2025, Kevin Feige confirmed at CinemaCon the following month that more characters would still be announced. That keeps the door wide open for a Hawkeye appearance, whether it's a cameo or something bigger. All this just shows how the MCU is in a constant state of motion. Projects pause, evolve, or get revived depending on where Marvel wants the story to go next. The possible arrival of Glenn Powell as Nova fits right into that cycle. It's not about if he'll join, but when. Because if Waldron's comment is anything to go by, there's already momentum behind the idea. And with Avengers Doomsday set to bring together so many corners of the Marvel Universe, from the classic X-Men and cosmic storylines to street-level heroes and Disney Plus crossovers, the timing couldn't be better for a character like Nova to debut. By the time Doomsday and Secret Wars roll around, the MCU will be at a crossroads, setting up whatever comes next for Phase 7. And considering Powell's popularity, charm, and growing list of action roles, his entrance could easily be one of the franchise's biggest casting moments in years. Whether it's through a revived Nova series or a surprise cameo in Doomsday, one thing's clear: Marvel loves planting seeds long before they sprout. And for Glenn Powell, that seed might already be in the ground, waiting for the perfect cosmic moment to take flight. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.